Welcome,
Hey,
welcome
hey.
back to episode 74 of the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. Beep, beep, beep. Are we going to come up with a theme song for this?
I don't see why not.
That would be so cool. Okay. Just gonna slide that in there.
Yeah,
I'm Coach Tensi.
I'm Coach Soul.
We are Ufulu Child, where Ufulu means freedom. And we are also here for the podcast to share our five-prong healing system, the Freedom Five. In every episode, we go live Monday through Friday. And what are the healing system shabam things?
Concepts of our healing system are be, cleanse, fuel, move, and shine. Today is Thursday, so it's Move Day. And it's a wonderful day because we are talking about something that working moms, new dads don't get enough of.
Yeah. Um,
Today we're talking about rest. Rest to rise, the power of recovery.
mm,
And this is both recovery for fitness and intentional movement practices, as well as just recovery in life in general.
yes.
The importance of how to structure your days in a way and how to listen to yourself, listen to the various voices that kind of culminate in yourself,
Mhm.
small s self. So your body has a voice and it speaks to you. Your mind and your mental state and your mental bandwidth has a voice and it speaks to you. Your emotional body, if you will, has a voice and it speaks to you. Your spiritual state has a voice and it speaks to you. So listening to these voices empowers you to show up more at your best, as well as push yourself and become stronger when you need to throughout your journey. So very, very important topic that we're going to get into today. Can't wait.
And it's just really cool because this is all about being honest with ourselves and and telling the truth to ourselves. So it just speaks volumes how something so simple as rest, oftentimes, I mean, if you're like me, a long time, hate to say it, but I would lie to myself unintentionally, but lie to myself um, in subtle ways of like trying to convince myself through just pushing through that I don't need the rest that I did, or that I can complete this task um, without the full functioning of my brain. um, we have something called hormones, okay? And these hormones um, require certain things in order to fully function, or at least function well, so that we don't feel like you ever seen a cartoon where a robot's like about to like break down and then just kind of like power down, you know? We don't have to feel like that, okay? Um, so that's why we're talking about the importance of rest days, how managing stress and stagnation, and all of these things. And if this resonates with you, then help us get the word out. Share this with someone that you know you've been talking to, you've been hearing from, and they need a little reminder too, because we're in this together.
Yeah.
And we are streaming on 3 different platforms. We're on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
You know, I've personally never needed um, too many reminders to get rest. If I feel, if the voice of my body or the voice of my mind says you need rest, I'm going to take it very seriously, and I'm going to take the opportunity to get said rest. And I'm not going to announce it to everybody and say goodbye. I'm just going to go and rest up. And I've just always been like that. I don't know why.
I think it's good.
I didn't have to learn this the hard way, but
Because some of us do have to learn it the hard way.
yeah. But unless I have a situation where it's time to push myself and grow and get stronger or something like that, um, if if I need the rest, I'm going to take it. Like a lion, male lion, head of the pride. He's gonna rest every time he needs it. So kind of like that. Sometimes we can forget that rest is important, and largely that's because of the current human condition. The 9 to 5 lifestyle is orchestrated in such a way that we think we're free, but we're just more so free range chickens.
Yeah, trying to pay off all our debt. uh, yeah.
Trying to think of a nice way to say that you think you're free, but you're a slave to this fabrication. So you have the ability to free yourself, and we have the ability to free ourselves, like collectively as human beings, or as the 99% or whatever you want to call it. But this 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever, or 60 hour, 80 hour work week that we take on is not natural and is not needed for a country or a world or a society to advance. It's simply a part of a larger orchestration to break up and break down the family, the nuclear family unit, mom, dad, and children, and or dad, moms, and children, whatever it is.
And then we don't have the support system.
We don't have the support, and we don't have the unity.
Yeah.
Right? Community starts with unity. So unity in the family spreads to unity of the local community. And now with the internet, of course, spreads to like-minded individuals that want to do similar projects. The work week is simply there to make sure that without you knowing, without it being too obvious, you're not able to really connect, really recover, and you're just constantly following orders, being obedient, and not being obedient to like your natural voices.
And if you've ever felt that, like,
oh, I know y'all felt
just put that in the comments, man, because
I know you felt that, because that's our experience right now. That's the human condition right now. But that's what also makes at least taking the step to do physical rest and recovery so important. I hear you. I'm not ignoring you. I'm talking to the people.
And we love you.
Yes. So, one of the ways that you can start to break these chains is just to research and understand what a real natural circadian rhythm is like, and start to live in accordance, at least as far as you can manage, with natural circadian rhythm, with being able to not be so attached to certain technologies, and not be so attached to certain rhythms. And like, if you think about the old food pyramid, that was just all lies, right? The food pyramid that they made up, and then they had everybody like obediently stick to the food pyramid as much as they can, right? Well, there's routines that we stick to that are also all lies, and they present it as this is the healthy way to manage your work-life balance, and really it's not true at all. It's just a way to keep you just sleepy enough and just alert enough at the same time to follow all of their orders. So
circadian rhythms are the waking, when you're awake, and when you're asleep, those cycles.
Yeah.
And the rhythm that your body naturally wants to go by in order to start to operate well, right? So we want to realign those, and there are many different ways that you can reset yours. If you notice you have trouble sleeping, if you have trouble getting to sleep, and then staying asleep, or one or the other, getting to sleep or staying asleep, that means that your circadian rhythm, that waking sleep cycle, is off. Or if you're not getting more than 6 hours of sleep, or if you're sleeping more than, say, 10 hours, either way, it can be off. So that's what he was talking about when he mentioned circadian rhythms.
Yes.
The more you know.
And how they interact with what Coach Tensi brought up, which is your hormonal makeup. Right? We've talked about in plenty of episodes that you got oxytocin at the top. Under that, you got cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone, and there's good stress and bad stress. And when your circadian rhythms are all out of whack and completely unnatural and all forced via your alarm clocks and the way that you look at your responsibilities and the way that you look at yourself and your ability to follow the fabrication of what should be your routines, and how bad you judge yourself and stuff will introduce a lot of bad stress, or introduce too much cortisol and put your body in an imbalanced state, making rest not only necessary as a recovery, like a healing mechanism, but also a strategy to be able to better meet your day and to be able to remain clear in your head. So
yeah, and you gotta have those two things in order to get free in this life. Okay, so it's so important, and it's something that honestly I feel like we should also be talking about in B-Day, because it affects our mental health. Like, we start feeling irritable and having all this crazy brain fog when we're not getting proper rest, and we're not recovering our bodies after like really heavy or strenuous workouts. We're not allowing for that rejuvenation. It's a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah. And I'd say this definitely goes especially for those in like desk jobs and administrative work, and people who are not doing like labor intensive stuff. Because people like me who do like more labor intensive stuff, after we are off, we are off. People at the desk job, you might not be off for 6 hours after you're off.
And then working the weekends.
So,
and not having a real day off.
Yeah. And you're not like sweating and breathing hard throughout the day. You're just kind of mentally sweating, and you are working something, when you work your mind and you evoke creativity and stuff. I'm not knocking it, but there's
You have the
word balance
heart
keeps coming to mind.
risk
Yeah.
from sitting after 8 hours. Even if you worked out in the morning, if you're still sitting in not movement for 8 hours straight, then you're still at that same heart risk. So, and we know heart disease is the number one killer. And then the third one is medical error. Oh goodness, from the doctors and teams. But
keep your heart healthy with rest. Your body thrives when you rest well.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the message of today's episode, is getting rest, outlining your days, and planning your sweating and breathing hard moments in accordance with how much rest you need for your work-life balance. And not too much else. It's very, very much not a super complicated episode. I did want to introduce a little bit of hard truth into it, because that's important to understand that there's a huge fabrication of what should be pulled over our eyes. It's a disguise of what should be, when in reality it's a wolf in sheep's clothing that says, obey, obey, obey.
Yeah.
And, girl,
ma'am,
Oh,
Just keep in mind that it's not all or nothing.
Yeah.
And just look at your schedule, right? Look at your schedule and see where you can get one day where you are more so stretching, you're listening to your body, you're really hydrating, drinking your water, and maybe even really tapping into self-care, true care of yourself, nurturing your body, nurturing your mind, nurturing yourself, with whether it's extra sleep, or it is a massage with a whole body butter, or it's a little detox bath to soothe your muscles and your mind and just release everything that's been cooped up, or it's a playtime and cuddles with baby, or just getting into another way of refilling your cup, honestly, but focused on movement and
Yeah.
rest at least once a week.
So just a quick reminder before we get out of here. I published my book.
AKA mixtape.
It's
I'm
called
kidding. It's not a mixtape.
It's called Culture Control: Why the Love of Money is Objectively the Root of All Evil. You can get it with the link in the description for YouTube, as well as the link in our About on Facebook
Yeah,
and the
almost
link
done.
in our bio on Instagram. Linktree. It's the Ufulu Child Linktree. Highly recommend you check out that book. Read the description.
Yes.
When you click the link, just read the description, see if it resonates, and if it does, get yourself a copy, get your family a copy. Encourage other people to get a copy and learn something, and hit us in the comments with what you learned from reading the book. They're dancing. Also, we have a couple of events coming up. So there's a Meditation of the Heart event for arts partners, art people that work and either teach art or teach how to teach art, whatever it is. Call it arts partners in the educational sphere.
Yeah,
So
that's November 19th.
that'll be
from
November
10 to
19th.
12 p.m.
Absolutely. 10 to 12 p.m. If you didn't hear that, November 19th here in Austin, Texas. And then later in October, I have a hip hop theater explosion appearance. Hip hop theater explosion is put on by Zell Miller, and I will be on stage for 5 nights of this show series. And so it's October 24th, 25th, and 26th, and then November 1st and 2nd. So come out to all 5 days, come out to one day, come out to 3 of them. Whatever it is, I will be doing a different set every night, every time. Doors open at 7, I believe, and the show starts at 7:30. Very, very exciting stuff. And then
doors open at 7:30.
Oh, doors open 7:30.
Show
Pardon me.
starts at
Show
8.
starts at 8. And then we have our own major event coming up in January, late January. And it's going to be called Thrive Zone. And it's going to consist of a concert and some intentional movement, some meditation, sound bath, and a couple presentations from yours truly. And it's going to be a great, great, great way to connect with all of you again here in Austin, Texas. So we will see you guys in the next episode for Shine Day.
One last announcement. Thank y'all that registered for the 6-part nutrition and cooking class series through the Sustainable Food Center. All of the working mamas from the Black Mamas Village, looking now, right on. I'm going to be co-facilitating. Sorry, Instagram me fell. Co-facilitating this with 2 other peer facilitators, and I'm looking forward to getting with y'all because the class got full and overflowed. Okay, so it's a blessing. I'm grateful. I'll see y'all later. We're gonna go tend to Omi and get the day going. Take good care, loves. We'll see you next time. Peace.